so right, make you feel so free. This frequency, this energy. Where did this energy come from? Where did this energy come from? Yeah. Where did this energy come from? Where did this energy come from? Yeah. Where did this energy come from? Where did this energy come from? Yeah.
Energy coming from the cosmos. Knowledge of yourself is the key for lost souls. Too many perish from it. I be like Fred Sanford, calling you a big dummy. You got big money, so what? Who cares? Currency is energy, it's all something we have. However, back to the basics. This vibe is too high for you to try and take it.
Where did this energy come from? Where did this energy come from? Yeah. Where did this energy come from? This frequency. Where did this energy come from? Yeah. These vibes are high. This energy, this frequency makes you feel crazy. These vibes so right, make you feel so free. This frequency, this energy.
That's beautiful. Yes. Day-to-day aftermath with Tamar Tafari in the building, mental health and mental illness. We're gonna talk about that we can talk about that every day.
Yes, peace and love, peace and love. How's everyone? Peace, love, and happiness is what we're all striving for. This is part 3 of mental illness and mental health. And I think that this is going to be an ongoing subject because we basically live in a mentally ill state, country, world. And it's always something going on around the world that puts us in a mental state, a mentally ill state. Our children are dealing with mentally ill issues. Our teenagers, some of our family members, co-workers, and I think this issue is not talked about enough, in our families and in our communities and just, in general. So I'm here to open a portal and open a dialogue to speak and to talk and to cry and to laugh and to remember and to bring forth a reasoning on mental illness and mental health disorder. I like to speak a little bit about mental imbalances, illness in children. If we can catch the behavior and the signs of our children while they're young, we can probably get a better hold of the situation once they get older and it gets out of hand.
Yeah, because I don't think it's that easy to take control of it before it get out of hand, actually. Because you can do everything you need to do and it still won't even work.
I mean, you have to, you have to make an effort. You have to first pay attention to the child's behavior, their mood swings, their appetite, how they engage with other children, how they engage with you, how they engage with their siblings, how they act and engage at school, how they act and engage when they're out in public. So there's telltale signs of children displaying a certain type of behavior that's not conducive to what we would call a normal child. So I did a speaking engagement this weekend at Wade Park on John Street. They had a Stop the Violence
I seen that.
clothing and school supply drive, and I was one of the speakers, and I was speaking on violence, which violence is associated with a lot of mentally disturbed, mentally ill people, even children, teenagers. You know, it doesn't have any boundaries, no color, no race, no age, no gender, none of that. So I spoke very clearly about the violence that's in our communities, the violence that's in our families, the violence that's in our cities, and that's plaguing our country and that's plaguing the world. We live around violence. We live around mental illness, and they're kind of associated with one another. You know, so we have to be clear on how we address and how we see and view mental illness, mental behavior, mental disorder, mental health disorder, and what can we do to kind of counteract it, especially with our young children. What can we do? We talk about a lot of issues that we have between relationships and parenting and violence, and the list goes on. We talk about it all day, but what are the remedies? We need remedies. We talk about everything in the book, but we have to have remedy. I was saying with the Stop the Violence, when I was speaking, I was saying we need to have a resolution conflict, have a resolution to conflict instead of fighting or harming somebody. Can we get a mediator between the two students or between the two siblings or the two friends to find out what's the problem? Because it's not that serious to be actually putting your hands on somebody or stabbing somebody or using a weapon to hurt somebody because you're having a disagreement or somebody said something that you didn't like about them. It's not that serious. So that exudes a behavior of some sort of mental disorder. If you don't know how to have some sort of conflict resolution, you're using violence as a form to solve problems. And, we have to really dig deep to really help our children so they won't become, teenagers and adults with mental disorders.
I think that they can get that just by dealing with things outside of the house and home, though, that we don't know of as parents, and they become this one way that we don't know about, and then they bring it into our homes and bring it to our homes, children. And it's a lot of things that goes on that we never know as parents.
Right. That's true. Children do keep things from you.
They do.
It's kind of sort of like a trust and a loyalty issue between parents and their children.
Yeah.
And I know that a lot of the things that we experience, it does starts from home, but when the person that's in the home, the parents are, off the chain, disruptive, out of control, doesn't have any boundaries, doesn't have law and order in their homes, then, the children is more than likely is going to pick up some ways. And that's not always the case, because you can have, I ain't gonna say bad parenting, but parents that's not on top of their A game, and their children turn out to be fine. And then sometimes you can have some of the best parents that invest everything in their children, and their children turns out to be a thorn in the ass. So it's kind of sort of like an oxymoron, damned if you do, damned if you don't. But the point is doing your best to be parents, to be, mothers and fathers to these children, because we got a whole new generation that's coming up. We got 2-3 generations coming up. The generation after me, which is my children, and then my children's children, and then their children are having children. So we got like 3 whole new generations that's coming up, and we got to really do some real life work with these children. This podcast is not that long, and I try to get in as much as I can, speaking on this issue. Some of my little remedies for mental illness, and I'm not talking about the severe mental illnesses like schizophrenic and real extensive bipolarism. I'm just talking about mild mental illnesses, like depression and anxiety and a over surmountable form of stress, where you can get some sort of relief, and you can kind of, reverse the symptoms and the signs, with depression, exercise, change your diet, surround yourself. One sister, I can't think of her name, but she made a post the other day about surround yourself with good people. And when you're going through mental, distress, surround yourself with good people. Watch.
Yeah, but how do you know that person is a good person, though?
I'm just saying, you basically know who's good for you, who's not. Like your family members, your close sisters. If you don't know that you don't have good people around you, then there's something wrong with you. I mean, especially if they've been around you for long periods of time, years. You know what I'm saying? And shit, nowadays it don't take too long to figure people out, because people move in a funny way. I can read people's energy. I'm a very good reader of people. And even if I read some stuff that doesn't sit right with me, I give you the benefit before I give you the doubt. You know what I'm saying? The benefit of the doubt, that's like an oxymoron. I can't give you the benefit and the doubt at the same time. So I will give you the benefit first. And if I see where it's not beneficial, then I doubt that you're going to get my time and my attention. So that's the benefit of the doubt. So some of my remedies is exercise and, being in nature, like going to the park, going to the river, going to the lakes, going to the ocean, sunbathing. It's a lot of different herbs that you can take to help balance, certain chemicals in the brain that's imbalanced. Meditation, hot saunas, because hot saunas detox. Bentonite clay, it extracts a lot of the poisons in the body. Maybe a colonic once a month, an enema once a day, or just as much as you clean your body on the outside, the inside of the body needs to be clean as well. Because I know that certain mental sicknesses and illnesses comes from the food we eat, the air that we breathe, the water that we drink, the people we're around, trauma, and chemical imbalance. So it's variables of things that causes mental illness and mental imbalances. So those are some of my little remedies for mild mental illness. Now, major mental illnesses, that's a whole nother ball game, because you have people having to be in hospitals and be on, certain drugs. And I haven't dig that deep to see how the medical professions deal with people on that level, but I've seen people really mentally disturbed, where they have to be sedated. They have to, even get arrested and is incarcerated. Some are so out of tune, they take their own lives.
Yeah, that's something to talk about too. There's that because a lot of people can't deal with life so bad that they do that to themselves and they take their life and they take whoever else's life too
Yeah, that's
with
true.
them. They taking them with them.
So those are just my viewpoints on mental illness, mental health disorders. I think that like I said, I think that everybody suffers from some sort of, or have suffered from some sort of mental imbalance, whether it's, anxiety, stress, depression, um, loneliness, sad, angry, agitated, short circuit, violence, you know. So this is a very, very touchy issue for me, because I see it a lot, especially I'm seeing it a lot in children. And a lot of parents some parents don't even really notice that it's something really going on with their children when it comes to behavior. And when you seeing your children act out and they're not acting normal, and when I say normal, everybody is different, but normal is having, behaving, following directions, doing what you're told, um, having manners, being a child. And some parents kind of overlook that their children are struggling with some sort of mental breakdown. And the schools, they play a role, they play a key role in our children's mental health as well. When we were younger, our teachers were like our parents. They looked out for us. They made sure that they communicated with our parents to make sure we were doing our homework. They made sure that we had breakfast, lunch. They made sure that when we were acting out, they did paddle us, which I don't agree with that now. I didn't agree with that back then. Paddling in school, that traumatized some children. They say in the Bible, what is it? Spare the rod, spoil the child. And as I got older and had my second group of children, I stopped whipping because I felt like it was leaving some sort of mental, some sort of mental anguish or mental trauma with them, because I physically harmed them to make them do what I wanted them to do. So I really don't advocate whipping and spanking like I did when I was raising my children. I don't spank my grandchildren. I might like grab them up and squeeze their little face and put my face to their face, but hitting and spanking, I don't do that. I don't use that as a method of discipline. And we were all raised different. And me being the woman that I am, and the way that I raised my children, and helping raise my grandchildren, I ain't gonna lie, I be wanting to whip their ass of grandchildren. But everything in my power, I said I ain't gonna put my hands on them. I said, because I'm 10 times, 20, 30, 40, 50 times bigger than this child. And for me to have to resort to physical, I'm gonna call it physical violence.
It is.
To make this 2-year-old and 3-year-old, it's something wrong with me. You can't make this child do what you tell me. If you got to sit down and hold this and restrain this child, I said sit down. And the child keep trying to get up, you restrain that child. But you talk to them with love. All that aggression and sit your ass down, beat your, the parents, yes, they cussing at the children, calling them out their names, slapping them, and I'm like,
all kind of stuff.
I really feel that we need a brick and mortar, an institution for parenting.
Child rearing.
Yes, child rearing. We
There's
really
no-
do. I feel that we really, really do.
There's no, if I may,
Go ahead. Yes.
there's no concrete way to raise children.
Right.
They're all different,
Yes.
but we always got to teach our children resilience.
Yes.
And most children are resilient. And why I say that with my own, I remember I didn't whoop them at all very often.
Right.
But I always got
That's how it was with mine. I didn't
talked to with my sister,
With
Jamie.
Right.
You need to whoop them. But I know I didn't.
And they came out.
They kind of
Came out
good, you.
pretty good.
But my father, he traumatized his children. He had 9. He would make us stand up in a row if he thought we did something, and he'd say, "I want your back." And we would have to pull up our shirt and whoop us on the back. He did all of us like that.
That's that slavery mentality.
It's that slave mentality. He traumatized me.
Yeah.
I used to go to sleep, and he said, "I'm gonna cut all y'all heads off." I used to go to
You
sleep.
must have been in the military.
No, but my daddy was a disciplinarian to the point of scary. I'm gonna tell you, I only got one whooping, and I'll never forget it. I was traumatized.
I got a couple of whoopings.
I
Oh,
can
yeah,
count on
you
one
got set
hand how
straight.
many whoopings I got.
You
I
got
got a
set
couple
straight
of
real
whoopings.
fast. It
Not
took
one,
us
not
about
I was
1,000
scared of
years.
my dad. I
It
was
took
scared
us a
of my
lot.
dad simply because he believed in discipline.
Right.
If he told you to come in at 9, you better be there, or your ass was great.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you my experience. The only whooping I remember, like whip belt from my mom, it was a little plastic one. She was like, "Oh, that don't hurt. That don't feel." She was like, "I don't feel no gravity." Like
said
it was.
plastic.
I was like it was hurting.
It was acting.
I was laughing like one night for real, for real.
No, I
And-
never whipped.
No, yes you did.
Very
You ended up getting like about 10 belts, plastic ones, wrapping them up around each other.
One
She
of them
got
broke.
vicious when she got on it.
No, literally. No, this is when I was
younger.
younger. But let me tell you why.
We don't get no more.
Let me tell you why.
She said.
A lot of times parents get sick of kids that don't do shit.
Yeah.
Lazy as hell, pissing in the bed,
Won't clean up.
and won't clean up. So she got sick of my ass. Excuse my language.
Yeah, you did all that.
And, eating boogers when I was younger. Like, just
Oh,
terrorizing.
we all ate boogers down
I was
there.
just terrorizing.
We all ate boogers.
I was terrorizing.
I did.
But I got terrorized. So it was like I got to terrorize them. They terrorizing me, and I'm the youngest. I got to stand up for myself in some kind of way. So I used to do ignorant stuff that I knew they didn't like.
Yeah,
It's
all of us did that.
a recipe to me to child rearing. You were raised by your mother, father,
Kindness.
your grandparents. So the way that you was raised, maternal and paternal instinct, common sense, and trial and error.
Yeah.
It
So
is trial
those
and
are the
error.
recipes to parenting. The way that you was raised,
There's no
common sense, paternal instinct, paternal maternal instinct. And when I say that, it's maternal when the baby wants to be fed, you're gonna put the baby on the breast. The baby need to be changed, you're gonna change the baby. The baby fall on his head, you're gonna comfort the baby. That's maternal instinct.
Yeah, but some
All
people
of us
kill
have
their
it.
baby.
All of us have it in us, but sometimes when you're dealing with trauma, it doesn't resonate. So all of us don't use or exercise maternal and paternal instinct. But
Can I ask a question? When we talking about the paternal instinct, some women have postpartum,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
and some of it is just a certain way that they feel where they are stressed and they really ain't cleaning up or doing this or doing that or whatever, but they're not harming their child, right? But it's some postpartums where the women kill
yeah,
their children, and that's like like what is that? A chemical imbalance, like
Chemical imbalance.
you get what I'm saying?
Issue.
Because you know your hormones. Because what people don't understand is when women have babies, our whole body goes into a whole nother transition where it goes into a lot of changes, right? So even after the child, it goes into even more changes. And that's what people don't understand. And I think that some people don't have the paternity instinct or the instinct to care for their child or love their child, regardless if it's crying a lot or whatever, when they have those children, because it really makes you a certain way when you have children. Your whole body, your whole everything is different. After and during. Right. And that's what some people don't understand when it comes to mental. Because go ahead, we got a hand.
I had it with my third child.
You thought you had postpartum?
No, I know I did. Because when I had her, I didn't want to touch her. I didn't even want to see it.
Are you serious? I never knew that.
I didn't care.
Wow.
You know, and I love the kids. I love any and everybody kids, like that third one, because of whatever thing. I was unhappy. I didn't want to see her. When they get it had something to do with them pills though.
Don't say no names.
You feel what I'm saying? Like them pills had me like loopy and didn't want to have nothing to do with her. And you know, like get her out of my face.
Really? What about when they want to do skin to skin?
She was premature.
I didn't want that.
She had it right directly.
I didn't want that.
That's
you serious?
Real shit.
That was one of the.
What you mean want that?
The baby, I'm sorry.
That's how she felt.
Look, no, that's I'm saying it as far as the way my feelings was.
Right.
Everything.
During the time
But
of having the baby.
Exactly. But
that's postpartum, but that's why I went to the paternity instinct because to me,
paternal is for men.
Maternal.
But let me finish my story.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Finish my story. So after I started taking them Percocets and stuff, it was like, where my baby at? It was all the drugs, because remember it was emergencies.
So you got addicted to Perc?
And I almost did. And that's why I took myself off while I was in there for them 4 days. I literally took myself off for that.
Wow. Because you would have been able to get addicted to it.
Yeah. And I felt the air because I didn't want to have nothing to do with my kids. You know I love kids.
Yeah.
So I was like, hold up.
For you not to want to do that, that's deep.
And even when I took myself off, I still was taking care of my kid, but it was like, man, get this one.
Wow.
Like, you know.
But that goes back to what you were saying though. Like that's sad. So some people don't have it.
Yeah. I mean, they have it. We all
I
have
had
it.
it.
We all have it in us, but it's a matter of it resonating, and it's a matter of it being blocked through trauma.
Yeah.
You know, being blocked through whatever, you know, you've been through as a child, even in our father's loins and even in our mother's womb, we go through trauma. You know what I'm saying? It's passed on. You know, so you know, we born into a world of trauma. We born into a world of mental illness and psychopaths.
Yes.
So we deal with it. It's an ongoing lifestyle. So it's a matter of all of us have been through something a mental challenge that has either made us want to kill ourselves, stay in the bed and not get up, not
exactly. That's what I was saying.
So we've all been through something, and it's a matter of targeting these children while they're young. We have to
watch the solution? Their behavior. That's what I need to know.
You know, we have to watch their behavior and see, you know, what's going on with them. Then we can start finding out ways to, you know, to deflect it or to cure it or to deal with it or to handle our children in the best possible way.
I agree.
With me dealing with children in school for them 5.5 years, it takes a community, and we don't have that anymore. We grew up within a community society when a parent can say something to your child and not cussing them out. None of that. I'm not saying, you better not cuss my goddamn child. You know, talk to them with some sense like you do your own.
But wait a minute. I get what you're saying when you just went off. Not to cut you off real quick. I'm going to let you go finish. But some parents don't want another parent cussing them out, but they cuss them out.
I know.
Go ahead. Keep
going. I was
going.
about to say that, though. That literally, that was my next
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry
I
to
put
cut
my
you off
that was
there.
my next
Okay.
because when
Cause-
we working with these children, I've seen some deep stuff. It's been teachers ain't even really say nothing to a person like to the child, and a parent coming there like the child and say you didn't even hear what happened from anybody else. No, your kid just come crying, but they was a hot mess. I've been the whole time on some messing with everybody, hitting everybody, but they telling you what you because you know you be popping off. Kids look at this. They see your behaviors and what triggers
in
you
the schools, and they take it to the schools.
No, I'm saying when you at home with your children, they see
Yeah.
what triggers you because children, they will try to trigger you to see what people don't realize. I did it. So I know what children do. That's why I was able to deal with the children who was problem children, they said in school, because I knew what was going on. I'm like that. I'm going to try to push a button in some type of way just to see how you handle it.
Yeah, but the teachers are quitting and
because these kids are disrespectful.
It's so bad in the schools.
Trying to fight the teachers for nothing. For nothing. I'll put your kid in timeout. So now you want to come fight me?
That's bad.
That's once again called mental disorder. You know, because when I use the word disorder, I mean that literally the order and law. Because when you got order, you got laws. When you got laws, you got order. And laws cannot be penetrated. So if you set ground rules and boundaries in your home and you got order, you know, those children should abide by them. But when you're telling your child to do something and you're not enforcing it, all you're doing is flap it off at your mouth. You got to sometimes literally make these children.
You do.
When I say make, if you got to take them by their arm, take them in that kitchen, stand by them, and watch them do them dishes and dry them and put them up and sweep the floor and mop the floor.
But that's how they learn, right?
That's how they learn.
That's
because you saying you keep saying that
I could
keep
stand
being
it too.
repetitive about what you're saying. They get immune to that. You know.
If I ain't do the silverware, she woke me up in the middle of the night.
Yeah,
wake up, parents used to do
that. Hey y'all, this is
I want to
beautiful.
get something clear about my dad. He was the best dad ever. He had 9, he took in 2 more, so he took care of 11 children plus mom and himself. So
like me.
He was a great person, even though
I love granddad.
He had to be highly disciplined, and he had 5 boys, and they was all over the place. So he had to be disciplined with them. But he didn't really need to do it as much with us, girls. But he was a disciplinarian when it came to time, when it came to money, when it came to anything dealing with structure.
Right.
He believed in structure.
I think that go back to the mental because the structure is what help it.
It is. And he knew that as he was a great father.
I was young.
I don't want nobody to think he was.
I was
But
young,
okay, so we about
all my memories about
we about to have to get off of here in a second, y'all. There, right there. But we can continue to discuss it. But this is a part 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 because all the mental illness and mental health goes back to how we raising our children. It goes back to us becoming
the environment,
the
water, the air,
becoming a community again, though, for the children.
Yes, you know,
we need to do that.
Yeah, so
we can't get mad at another parent for checking them because some parents might have a problem where they messing with the kids, but some don't really. They're not messing with the kids. They're just trying to correct what they're seeing.
Behavior.
You get what I'm saying? Because I do that all the time with children. And parents get upset. So now I don't say nothing. I like as I was growing up and whatever, seeing stuff in the stores and stuff like that, I'll say something to the little kid like, you know, hey, you ain't getting no candy bar. You keep asking for the candy bar and you screaming and hollering. Your mama keep telling you no. That means no, right? And the kid will look at me like, who is you? Like, kids don't care, right? But they listen to me before they listen to the parent. So it's like, what's going on in the household where the kid feels that they don't have to listen to? That's what I don't understand.
Unfortunately, a lot of children do that.
Right.
But yeah.
So we're gonna wrap this up.
Yeah, absolutely. This is
Go in.
we can always talk about this because we need to come up with also solutions of things that we can do together to help kids, but it ain't gonna work because it's so much ignorance.
Yes,
It'll
from
work.
the parents.
From the parents.
It'll work. We just
It's so
have to
much
work hard
ignorance.
to make it happen.
I'm gonna be real. I ain't working hard with none of them.
You know what? No, honestly,
Because I'm saying I know how I get down. I'm gonna work hard with people trying to do it, right? If we want to get together and do that, but certain people you cannot allow to get in it though.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna
muck it up.
everybody have to be kind of on the same
Page. Yeah.
page kind of with things
One
in
right
order
fruit
for
is
us
for the
to
bunch.
yeah, exactly. So what she just said, like, so we would everybody, so you can't really work with everybody when it comes to
Right.
that.
You can't.
Yeah.
You have to work with like-minded people. And I want to say one thing before
Okay,
we
before we
here.
get off of here, absolutely.
Is that we have so many things going on for adults in this country, in this city. But it's not enough things that's going on for our children. We have concerts, workshops, we have parties, we have all types of things for the adults. We don't have nothing for these children. They don't really invest in our children. You know what I'm saying? We don't really invest as a collective in our children. We got
I would love to.
we have community centers, but they're not thriving, and then the parents are not involved to bring ideals and activities to keep these children off the street. You got children 9 and 10 years old smoking marijuana now.
Yeah.
10 and 11 years old having
They've
sex.
been doing that.
Doing
though.
all types of madness on the school buses and
In
behind
the
the school buildings.
in the
and,
school.
you know, in the school. So
Oral
On the steps, in the back of the
So,
steps in the school.
it's not the
Oral
children's
sex.
fault.
It's not.
It's the village's fault.
It is.
It
You
is.
know,
I agree.
So we got to come together collectively as grandmothers and
I
mothers
agree.
and uncles and aunts, and we have to really find some resolutions and some
I agree.
activities for these children. These children
I
are
agree.
bored, but they sit at home on these tablets and playing these video games and smoking weed. Now they drinking
Mm.
and
Young,
doing perks and
young.
and having sex. So that's where adult come. These are young adults.
They're seeing
the
their
word-
parents doing it.
The word adult
And
comes from
TV.
adultery.
And TV. Yeah.
So they're doing grown folk stuff.
yeah.
That's why they're called young adults.
It's the TV.
Because they doing grown folk stuff.
Mhm.
And they be a child, have fun. But
Yeah, but you got to remember, for kids, they feel like having fun is watching
being
things.
an adult,
Exactly.
doing
What you just said.
adulterated stuff.
Exactly. My whole point. Exactly. But yeah, we out of here, y'all.
All right, y'all.
This is again day-to-day aftermath though with Tamar Safari, mental illness, mental health, part 3. We're gonna do it to part 100 if we had to. We're gonna talk about it, but at the same time, we're gonna come up with solutions as we speak and we meet and do our podcast. So love you for most definitely wanting to do that. I appreciate that. And it's a beautiful thing for us to do this because mental illness is every day.
Yes,
It's
it
real.
is.
It's something
Real talk.
every day. That's why the news is the way the news is. That's why so much stuff going on in the news. I think it's about mental illness and mental health and how we raised and how people do their children and raise their children and allow other people to raise, because you have to let other people raise your kids as well as you. You can't just be the only one raising the child.
That's the village.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. So we'll be back. We appreciate y'all for tuning in.
Peace, y'all.
Always.
Peace, love, and happiness.
Peace, love, and happiness. We always gonna do day-to-day podcast aftermath. Let's get it. Hey, the energy.
It's the energy of love and happiness.
It is. It really is.
Where did this energy come from?
It really is.
Yeah. Where did this energy come from?
of yourself is the key for lost souls. Too many perish from it. I be like Fred Sanford, calling you a big dummy. You got big money, so what? Who cares? Currency is energy, it's all something we have. However, back to the basics. This vibe is too high for you to